Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad signing in for video number 11. And video number 11 I want to talk about an antonym, which most people don't think as an antonym. It's comfort versus greatness. These are actually opposites, and I don't know if you know that or not, but Saint or Pope Benedict XVI, before he resigned, he essentially said the world offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort, you were made for greatness. And these are opposites, right? So what will the world give you? The world will give you pretty much anything you want. And in terms of modern life, it gives you all the modern luxuries of life, gives you an excess of food, heat, clothing, everything else, wealth, and video games and like electronic media and these things that we're constantly bombarding our brain with that makes us comfortable, TVs and internet and so on and so forth. But you weren't made for comfort, because you could pursue comfort your entire lives, day in and day out, all day long, and achieve nothing. So you were made for greatness, and greatness is the opposite of being comfortable. Because to be great, you have to do great things, and when you do great things, you have to take on great responsibilities. You essentially cannot play video games all day long and become great unless you're like the best in the world. To become great, you have to read, you have to gain knowledge, you have to pray and fast and serve your community and be honorable and build wealth, be charitable, and so on and so forth. And determine what your vocation is and master that. And so all of those things are not comfortable at all. They're they're the opposite of comfortable. They're difficult. They're hard. They're arduous. And doing hard and arduous tasks makes you great. And again, we talked about that in a previous video, but doing hard, arduous things is a definition of fortitude. Difficult things that you don't want to do. That's what soldiers do, right? Charging into battle, into gunfire. Like, who the heck wants to do that? Nobody. But that's courage. It's fortitude. It's one of the cardinal virtues. And let's think about this a little bit further. So, what's the opposite of fortitude? You have the seven cardinal virtues, right? So you got prudence, justice, temperance, fortitude, faith, hope, and love, right? And so all the virtues have the opposite of virtue, which is vice. What is the opposite of fortitude? Doing hard, difficult, arduous tasks, even when you don't want to, and persevering. The opposite is, I think there's two of them. It's sloth and effeminacy. And so sloth is something that and I got this from a priest from Nebraska. He gave a lecture about this, but sloth is, no, so effeminacy is an aversion to what is difficult. So you don't like doing hard and difficult things. That's the vice of effeminacy, not being feminine, but effeminacy. It's a completely different word. And sloth is being attracted to doing easy things or lazy things. And so there's a subtle difference between them, but there is a real difference. Aquinas defined it. When we walk through our lives, right, and we're constantly feeding our lower appetites. We're just eating whatever food we want. We're not fasting. We're not being prayerful. We're just playing video games all the time, or we're just constantly feeding our lower appetites. Music, just pleasure, 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 pleasure all day long. Our brains are not ordered to do what is hard and difficult. And so there you go, people. So if you seek a life of comfort, a life of ease, a life of just pure pleasure, you will not become great, because becoming great is the opposite of that. And so I would encourage, and I encourage all my children to do this. If you have to meditate over this and figure out where you are weak in the virtue department. So fortitude is one that a lot of people are weak on, but prudence, justice, temperance, faith, hope, and love. Fortitude, if you are weak on fortitude, you have to do things you don't want to do. And I'll give you an example. One of my kids has a social phobia. So I tell him, you have to go out and introduce yourself to one person every single day, no matter what. You just go out, shake hands, look them in the eye. And that's a hard, difficult thing to do. But you have to do it, because eventually you habituate yourself to having courage, to overcoming your comfort zone and doing the hard, difficult thing that you don't want to do. And if you do that day in and day out, eventually you can apply it to your life in terms of work life, married life, fatherly life, so on and so forth. And that's how you become great. And there you go. So try not to be comfort. Try not to seek comfort all the time. I mean, there are some levels of comfort that are okay. You need to unwind at the end of the day, things like that. But for the most part, do hard, difficult, arduous tasks, and you have a great chance of becoming great. And so please like or subscribe, share with your friends if you like this video, and God bless you. Try to get the Mass and confession and pray the daily Rosary. This is video number, I think, 11. So God bless. Good night.